Reviewing the Acer Aethon 330 new keyboard from Acer, of course, in the Acer Predator series. So I got sent this today. I've been playing with it the whole entire day on my stream and in my Face It Counter-Strike matches. So far, so good. We're going to be talking about this keyboard, things I like about it, and there are some things I don't like about it. Of course, I will get into that and delve into that. Initially, guys, when you open the box, you can see inside. Keyboard is neatly packaged with the cable above it that you'll attach to your PC via USB, and then of course into the keyboard itself. It is RGB. The wind's trying to take it away from me. The first place to start with any keyboard, guys, is the switches. The Acer Aethon 330 uses the Cali Blue switches, which have great feedback, very good feel, especially when typing. That's probably been the biggest surprise for me, how good this keyboard feels while typing. In terms of playing, it's also strong. Great feedback, as I said, counter-strafing and Counter-Strike, it's responsive. I feel like I do have a good grip on how I'm playing and how I'm peaking inside the game. There is a downside though to the blue switches, which people do know, and that is the sound. I mean, you can hear it, guys, coming through your screens. It is a very loud keyboard, so you will have to be careful on your microphone sensitivity if you're playing in TeamSpeak or Discord with your friends. In terms of the build quality, guys, for the price, it's very strong. It reminds me heavily of the Ducky keyboards from a few years ago, and actually those did use a similar switch as well. In terms of the build quality, hard plastic around the sides, good keycaps that come with the keyboard itself. You won't be needing to upgrade those. So out of the box, a very strong keyboard in terms of the build and the switches and the feel. Speaking of the keys themselves, one of the drawbacks to this keyboard that I do feel is the spacebar. It's hard to describe without feeling it. It just feels heavy. Sorry, it's hard to describe it with words without actually feeling the keyboard, but it does feel heavy. It's not going to cause you any issues in Counter-Strike. You're only using spacebar rarely, especially because you bind jumping to your mouse typically. But I wish the spacebar was a bit lighter, or the feedback from it was better. That's the only thing pulling me back on this keyboard. One of the things I like about this keyboard, guys, is the different keycaps that do come with the W, A, S, and D. Obviously, those are the movement keys that I'm using in Counter-Strike. You can even hear as well. I mean, actually, bring it closer. You can hear it as well. It actually makes the keys sound a bit different. They probably did that because you're going to be using those keys a lot and the blue switches are loud. However, the feel of these keycaps, the WASD, are fantastic. Very impressive. One of the things that I wasn't expecting from this keyboard was how nice the keycaps do feel. Now to speak about one of the biggest benefits of this keyboard, it's actually the price point that this keyboard sits at. Roughly £70 is what this keyboard will set you back. And when you compare it to the best keyboards on the market currently, I've got them next to me here. Of course, we have the Wooting keyboard, £160. And then we've also got the Razer Huntsman as well, another £165 keyboard, guys. And actually some versions of this keyboard from Razer are even more expensive than that. So one of the big benefits to the Acer Aethon 330 is the fact you're getting it for about 65% cheaper than the other keyboards that are on the market that it's competing with. What causes the price difference between these keyboards, obviously £160 on the Wooting and the Razer Huntsman and £70 on the Acer Aethon, is going to be the software that you do download onto your PC and the actuation point that comes with it. I'll explain that in just a second. Actuation point is at what point you press down on the key that it registers inside the game. So for example, if I had a 0.4 actuation point on my keyboard, it would be 0.4 millimeters down that I press to the point in which it activates the key in game. Now, if you are top 1% of Counter-Strike players or Valorant players, whatever your FPS game is, does it make a difference? Yes, minimal difference. 5–10% difference potentially on your counter strafing. And this is where I have to ask you, the viewer, the question of, is that few percent difference worth paying nearly 2.5 times the difference on the other keyboards that I mentioned before, the Wooting and the Razer? Even if you're an intermediate player, I still believe the difference in price point isn't worth it. Obviously, it depends on your budget and how wealthy you are. But for the price range that this keyboard sits in, I think it is the best out there. Other keyboards that are at this price point aren't going to have the same build quality, the same reliability, the same switch quality as well. So for that, I really do recommend this keyboard. Ironically, with the banning of snap tap technology in professional Counter-Strike, it actually adds a lot of value to the Acer Aethon 330. Why? Because it takes away from the need of having to have software-based keyboards. Obviously, if snap tap was still here, I would be saying the need for these more expensive keyboards would be much greater. With it being banned in pro play, and being banned in tournaments, it means it diminishes the need to having to pay so much more for those more expensive keyboards. So again, adding extra value to the Acer keyboard in front of you guys here. What would I rate this keyboard out of 10? I would give it a 7.8. I've already mentioned before the spacebar not being my favorite part of this keyboard. That's the only thing drawing it back. That, and of course the fact that there is no actuation point software for the keyboard. That seems to be the separation, guys, between the £70 or under £100 keyboards and the over £150 keyboards, is the software that you're downloading with it that does have actuation point software on it. So I can't give this keyboard higher than an 8, for example, because it hasn't got that software for me to use in Counter-Strike. However, the price point is just such a benefit for this keyboard, guys. £70 is definitely the best value on the market that I've seen. So I'd highly recommend this keyboard. Lots of benefits, lots of strengths, and a great beginner, intermediate keyboard for you guys to be playing Counter-Strike on.